Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the penultimate episode of this season of High Q, the game where knowledge rules. I am your host, Olivia Manning, and today we have contestants from Bond County and Carbondale. Representing Carbondale, we have Aiden, Bill, Ryan, and Nathan, and representing Bond County, we have William, Eli, Camden, and Colson. Again, at this point in the season, it seems a little strange for me to go over the rules in detail, so I'm just going to do it as though I'm an adult on a Charlie Brown short. Womp, 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 womp. Toss-up questions, womp, 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 either team, womp, 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 10 questions, womp, womp, bonus question, womp, womp, 10 bonus points, 20 bonus points, womp, womp, steal, womp, womp, 10 bonus points. There will also be media questions, audio questions, lightning rounds, but we will get to all of that later. For now, the dreaded interruption rule, which I do have to say in full because it's that important. If I am reading any question at all and you interrupt me with an answer, if you're correct, you get your points, we move on with our day. If you get it wrong, the other team gets 5 points and they get to answer that question that you just answered incorrectly. So, if you're going to interrupt me, make sure you're right. With all of that being said, are we ready to High Q?
Yes.
All right, our first toss-up question of this semi-final. What technique with a thin layer form? Ryan.
Chromatography.
Chromatography is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. The Pulitzer Prize-winning biography G-Man portrayed what powerful federal official who led the FBI and its precursor agencies from 1924 to 1972?
J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover is correct. What artist painted a light bulb in an eye-shaped halo, a terrified bull, and a writhing horse? William.
Picasso.
Picasso is correct.
Nice.
Your bonus question, Bond County. What Romance language was used to write the Lusiads, an epic poem about 15th century explorations composed by Luís Vaz de Camões?
Portuguese.
Portuguese is correct.
Nice.
What novel, in which Roy meets a boy called Mullet Fingers in a small Florida town, was written by Carl Hyacin about efforts to save endangered owls? All right, that means we're out of time. We were looking for Hoot. Hoot is the title of that novel. No bonus question there. What peninsula is to the northeast of Buzzards Bay, forms the northern limit of Nantucket Sound, and curves eastward off the coast of Massachusetts? William.
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod is correct.
Nice.
Your bonus question, Bond County. In 1848, what treaty ceded California and parts of 6 other states to the U.S. and ended the Mexican-American War?
Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo.
Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is correct. What musician released a 1959 album of Gil Evans' arrangements of Porgy and Bess, the same year he included All Blues and So What on Kind of Blue? Camden.
Coltrane.
Coltrane is incorrect. Carbondale? Ryan.
Davis.
Davis is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. Impulse is the change in what quantity, which is necessarily conserved in both elastic and inelastic collisions?
Momentum.
Momentum is correct. Your first media question, the television. This show is based on the hit early 2010s movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It is an animated show based on the same premise. Name this show. Aiden.
Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life.
Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life is incorrect. Bond County. William.
Nemora.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. No bonus questions for the media questions. It's just whatever shows up on the TV. Back to our toss-ups. What extremely strong transition metal, whose dioxide is used to turn paints white, is used in many prosthetics and has the atomic Coulson?
Titanium.
Titanium is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. The stage directions of the play Waiting for Godot call only for a road and what object from which the protagonists consider hanging themselves?
A tree.
A tree is correct. What law, which prohibited slavery above the 3630 parallel? Ryan.
Missouri Compromise.
Missouri Compromise is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. Online supporters of Palestinian statehood often use as a symbol what fruit, whose colors match those of Palestine's flag?
Watermelon.
Watermelon is correct. What actor, who appeared in A Complete Unknown as Bob Dylan, portrayed the title chocolatier in Wonka and the sandworm Camden?
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. What bay at the northern end of the Gulf of Maine has the highest tides in the world?
Portsmouth.
Portsmouth is incorrect. Carbondale, your chance to steal.
Augusta Bay.
Augusta Bay is incorrect. We were looking for the Bay of Fundy. No bonus points there. Our next toss-up is a math question, so pencil and paper ready all around. What is the only quadrant that does not contain any part of the line defined by the equation y equals negative 3x minus 4? Ryan.
The first one.
Sorry?
The first quadrant.
Yes, that is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale, is not a math question, so you can put that pencil and paper down if you'd like. Pope Paul III convened one council of the Catholic Church, which lasted from 1545 to 1563 and designed the theology of the Counter-Reformation.
Trent.
Sorry?
Trent.
Trent is correct. What indigenous woman, the daughter of the chief Powhatan, Camden?
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. In English language poetry, what metrical foot consists of an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed syllable?
An iamb.
An iamb is correct. Your first audio question of the game will be filtered through the speakers, so keep those listening ears open. This hit movie made its debut July 21st, 2023. It made Camden.
No answer.
All right, Carbondale, I will repeat the question. This hit movie made its debut July 21st, 2023. It made $1.4 billion at the box office and received many accolades. Billie Eilish made What Was I Made For specifically for this film. Name this movie.
What was I made for?
All right, that means we are out of time for this audio question. Barbie was the answer we were looking for. Barbie, starring Margot Robbie. Our next toss-up question. What city, whose sky tree was designed by Camden?
Seattle.
Seattle is incorrect. Carbondale? What city, whose sky tree was designed by Nikken Senkai, is where visitors pass through the Nakamon to access an imperial palace where Naruhito lives? Ryan.
Tokyo.
Tokyo is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. The first moon suggested to have its own ring system was what second largest moon of Saturn after Titan, which is itself named after a female Titan?
Niobe.
Niobe is incorrect. Bond County, your chance to steal.
Europa.
Sorry?
Europa.
Europa is incorrect. We were looking for Rhea. Our next toss-up. What author, who wrote about a hypocritical preacher in Elmer Gantry, described the provincial townspeople of Gopher, Camden?
Eliot.
Sorry?
Eliot.
Eliot is incorrect. Carbondale? I will repeat the question. What author, who wrote about a hypocritical preacher in Elmer Gantry, described the provincial townspeople of Gopher Prairie in his novel Main Street? Ryan.
Lewis.
Lewis is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. Canadian influencer Alexandra Botez is a 5-time national champion at what activity, which she frequently features on Twitch streams?
Chess.
Chess is correct. What president, who defeated Democrat James Cox while promising a return to normalcy in 1920, William?
Harding.
Harding is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. In August 2024, Russian-born billionaire Pavel Durov was arrested on charges of allowing criminal activity on what social media app, which he founded?
Mastodon?
Mastodon is incorrect. Carbondale, your chance to steal.
No answer.
All right, we were looking for Telegram. Telegram is the name of that app. Our next toss-up question. What country, whose border with Romania contains the Iron Gates Gorge, is home to the confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers in Belgrade? Aiden.
Serbia.
Serbia is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. Flowers and starfish exhibit what form of symmetry with body parts rotated around an axis, unlike the bilateral symmetry found in humans?
Radial.
Radial is correct. What constant, which a sphere of silicon was constructed,
Avogadro's.
Sorry?
Avogadro's constant.
Avogadro's constant is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. What war poet, who was a friend of Wilfred Owen, described an officer blundering down the trench in his 1918 poem, Counterattack?
Lowell.
Sorry?
Lowell.
Lowell is incorrect. Carbondale, your chance to steal.
Auden.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Sassoon. Siegfried Sassoon. No bonus points there. Our next media question, the television. This Roblox game was made on May 21st, 2020 camping.
Dress to Impress.
Dress to Impress is correct. No bonus questions on our media. Just whatever comes up on the television. What man, who founded the first permanent European settlement in mainland South America, crossed the Isthmus of Panama in 1513 to reach the Pacific? William.
Gama.
Sorry?
Gama.
That is incorrect. Carbondale? Ryan.
Magellan.
Magellan is incorrect. We were looking for de Balboa. Vasco Nunez de Balboa. No bonus question there. Our next toss-up. What state, where Mike McDonnell helped block a September 2024 plan to change how it awards electoral votes, has a unicameral legislature in Lincoln? Ryan.
Nebraska.
Nebraska is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. What musical work depicts the demon Chernabog and a witch's Sabbath on St. John's Eve and was composed by Modest Mussorgsky?
Pictures on an exhibition.
That is incorrect. Bond County, your chance to steal.
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
A Midsummer Night's Dream is incorrect. We were looking for Night on Bald Mountain. It's featured in Disney's Fantasia. No bonus points going into our lightning round. Wang, bow, pshh. It is time for our lightning round. I have in my hand slightly larger pieces of paper in which are topics that have 10 questions each. Our teams may have to answer any 10 of these questions in just 60 seconds. Alrighty. Bond County, you get full choice as to which topic you would like to go for. They are as follows: American speeches, silent letters, Janes, and Vermont.
Silent letters.
Silent letters. Given these words that you're not being given them, they're the answers. Give these words that in most American accents begin with a silent letter. Bond County, your 60 seconds begins in 3, 2, 1. A huge ocean wave.
Tsunami.
Correct. A person who will receive an inheritance.
Air.
Correct. A ring of plants or flowers.
Pass.
Ancient reptiles that were the first known flying vertebrates.
Pterodactyl.
Correct. To supervise or wrestle something unruly, such as livestock.
Wrangle.
Correct. A tiny, mischievous dwarf.
Gnome.
Correct. Twisted, knotted, and deformed.
Gnarly.
Correct. A cheap little object used as decor.
Pass.
Chronic condition that causes scaly or red skin plaques.
Pass.
A respectful imitation or reference to another work of art.
Homage. Homage.
Correct. A ring of plants or flowers.
Fairy ring.
We are out of time. A wreath is a ring of plants or flowers. Knickknacks are cheap little objects used as decor. Psoriasis is that chronic condition that causes scaly or red skin plaques. And Those are the ones you got incorrect. I'm sorry, I thought there was one more. There was not. Carbondale, your topics to remain are as follows: American speeches, Janes, and Vermont.
American speeches.
Sorry?
American speeches.
All right. What Americans gave these speeches? I will provide the year. Carbondale, your 60 seconds begins in 3, 2, 1. I Have a Dream, 1963.
MLK Jr.
Correct. The 14 Points, 1918.
Wilson.
Correct. Farewell to Baseball, 1939, as he retired due to a terminal illness.
Lou Gehrig.
Correct. The Ballot or the Bullet, 1964.
Pass.
Women's Rights or Human Rights, 1995.
Pass.
The Great Society, 1964.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Correct. The Four Freedoms, 1941.
Pass.
Old Soldiers Never Die, 1951.
Patton.
Address to the Nation on the Challenger Disaster, 1986.
Pass.
Every Man a King, 1934.
Hugh Long.
Correct. The Ballot or the Bullet, 1964.
Kennedy.
Incorrect. Women's Rights or Human Rights, 1995.
Angelou.
Incorrect. The Four Freedoms, 1941. You're out of time. The Ballot or the Bullet was by Malcolm X. Hillary Clinton, gave the speech Women's Rights or Human Rights. The Four Freedoms was by FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Douglas MacArthur did the speech Old Soldiers Never Die, and Ronald Reagan did the address to the nation on the Challenger disaster. All right, wonderful lightning round all around, but they cannot last forever, so back to our toss-ups. What city, the capital of the Maharashtra state, contains the Gateway to India monumental arch and is the center of the Bollywood film industry? Camden?
New Delhi.
Sorry?
New Delhi.
Incorrect. Carbondale? Ryan?
Mumbai.
Mumbai is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. What 2015 book in which Jean Louise Finch returns to Maycomb, Alabama, was billed as a sequel to the novel To Kill a Mockingbird?
Go Set a Watchman.
Go Set a Watchman is correct. What numbers, which are symbolized by a bold capital letter Z, are divided to form the set of rational numbers? Camden.
Real numbers.
Real numbers is incorrect. Carbondale, I will repeat the question. What numbers, which are symbolized by a bold capital letter Z, are divided to form the set of rational numbers and include -6 and 31? Bill.
Integers.
Integers is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. In what Latin American country was the Somoza family overthrown in 1979, leading to a decade of conflict between the FSLN and the Contras?
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua is correct. What prime minister who called for blood, toil, tears, and sweat succeeded Neville Chamberlain? Ryan?
Churchill.
Churchill is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. What quantity for an atom can be obtained as the difference between the mass number and atomic number?
Isotope number.
Isotope number is incorrect. Bond County, your chance to steal.
Amount of neutrons.
That is... What's the... Yes, that is correct. A good but slightly unclear steal from Bond County. Our next audio question. Speakers. This famous song from artist Doja Cat made waves on TikTok due to the popular Camden.
Say So.
Say So is correct. No bonus on audio, it's just whatever comes to the speakers. What author described a barley seed that produces a tiny girl in Thumbelina and wrote about a naked ruler in the fairy tale The Emperor's New Clothes? Camden.
Anderson.
Anderson is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. What genre of paintings are exemplified by works such as Broken Column by Frida Kahlo and one by Parmigianino in a convex mirror?
Yeah, self-portrait.
Sorry?
Self-portrait.
Self-portrait is correct. What property, whose appearance causes magnetic fields to be expelled in the Meissner effect, is present in materials with zero electrical resistance? Ryan.
Superconductivity.
Superconductivity is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. What country underwent a devastating civil war in the late 1960s after discontent among the Igbo people led to the attempted secession of Biafra?
Nigeria.
Nigeria is correct. What present-day country was where natural rubber was first used in sacred ball games by the ancient Olmecs, and later, Camden?
Peru.
Peru is incorrect. Carbondale, I will repeat the question. What present-day country was where natural rubber was first used in sacred ball games by the ancient Olmecs, and later at sites such as Tenochtitlan? Ryan.
Mexico.
Mexico is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. What man who coached the Boston Celtics to a title in 2008 was hired as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks in 2024?
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers is correct. What city, which hosts a film festival that
Clear.
awards the Golden Lion, is home to St. Mark's Basilica and is an Italian city? Camden.
Florence.
Florence is incorrect. Carbondale, I will repeat the question. What city, which hosts a film festival that awards the Golden Lion, is home to St. Mark's Basilica and is an Italian city with many canals? Ryan.
Venice.
Venice is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. What genus, whose species include Anamensis, Afarensis, and Africanus, has a name meaning southern ape and includes hominin ancestors of modern humans?
Homo.
That is incorrect. Bond County, your chance to steal.
Neanderthals.
Neanderthals is incorrect. We were looking for Australopithecus. Australopithecus. Our next toss-up question. What figure who was bound by the fetter Gleipnir at the cost of Tyr's hand will swallow William?
Fenrir.
Fenrir is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. What term describes acids such as phosphoric acid that have multiple acid dissociation constants because they can lose more than one proton?
Arrhenius.
Sorry?
Arrhenius.
That is incorrect. Carbondale, your chance to steal.
Strong.
Strong is incorrect. We were looking for polyprotic or triprotic. Our next media question. Keep your listening ears. No, not your listening ears. Well, keep your listening ears open. Your eyes to the television is what I meant to say. This EA game centers on what you, Camden?
The Sims.
More specifically?
The Sims 4.
The Sims 4 is correct. No bonus media questions. Back to our toss-ups. What country's Sumar Coalition and PSOE party support Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez alongside regionalist parties from the Basque County and Catalonia? Camden.
Spain.
Sorry?
Spain.
Spain is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. What ancestor of Babur brutally conquered much of Central Asia and the Middle East in the 14th century and saw himself as Genghis Khan's true heir?
Kublai Khan.
Kublai Khan is incorrect. Carbondale, your chance to steal.
Tamerlane.
Tamerlane is correct. What word describing the 5 largest vertebrae in the lower part of the spine also names a kind of puncture used to obtain cerebrospinal fluid? William.
Lumbar.
Lumbar is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. Events called suhoor and iftar take place before and after periods of what practice, which is obligatory for Muslims as the pillar of song?
Fasting.
Fasting is correct.
Nice.
What author described experiments that produce a leopard man in the island of Dr. Moreau and wrote Camden?
H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells is correct. Your bonus question, Bond County. What country's Atlantic Ocean territories include South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands?
France.
Sorry?
France.
France is incorrect. Carbondale, your chance to steal.
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom is correct. What series in which Tara and Darcy befriend transfer student Elle is a Netflix show about the romance between British teens Charlie and Nick? Aiden.
Heartstopper.
Heartstopper is correct. Your bonus question, Carbondale. Under Clovis and the Merovingian dynasty, what Germanic tribe occupied Paris and conquered formerly Roman Gaul in the 5th century AD?
Vandals.
That is incorrect. Bond County, your chance to steal.
The Goths.
The Goths is incorrect. We were looking for the Franks. That bell means we are out of time for our semifinal. Our scores at the end of the game are Bond County with 350 points and Carbondale with 420 points. Congratulations to everyone, but especially our winner of today's episode, Carbondale. I'm Olivia Manning, reminding you that here at Scholastic HQ, knowledge rules.